Have you ever helped someone you didn't know and later realized they were sent into your life for a reason? Sometimes destiny doesn't arrive with a grand sign. It comes quietly, disguised as a stranger asking for a favor. This is the story of Damaris Peralta, a woman who believed kindness was a weakness, and of Paul Bastidas, a stranger whose gentle heart would test everything she thought she knew about love, trust, and fate. It began on a rainy morning, like any other. A taxi door about to close, a desperate voice calling out, "Please wait, can I share this ride?" One small yes changed everything. What Damaris didn't know was that behind Paul's calm smile hid a secret that would challenge her pride, heal her heartbreak, and show her that even the smallest act of compassion can open doors no amount of money ever could. Because sometimes, when life breaks you, it's not to punish you, but to prepare you for the one person who will see your worth before you do. So, stay until the very end, because in this story, what begins as a simple favor becomes a lesson in honesty, redemption, and the kind of love that money can't buy. If you believe that one small act of kindness can truly change someone's life, this story will remind you why. Sometimes, the smallest moments, the ones we barely notice, become the turning points of our entire lives. That morning, Damaris Peralta didn't know that a single act of kindness would set her life on a path she could never imagine. It was just after sunrise. The city was waking up. Cars honked in the distance, a mix of rush and routine, while Damaris stood at the edge of the street, her heels tapping impatiently on the wet pavement. She was late again. Her boyfriend hated that. When a taxi finally stopped, a young man was about to get in. "Wait, please, can you give me a ride?" she called out, her voice half pleading, half commanding. The driver hesitated, glancing between the two of them. But before he could answer, the young man, neatly dressed, calm with that quiet kind of confidence, smiled. "Of course, it's on my way. Get in." That man was Paul Bastidas. To Damaris, he was just a stranger, polite, charming, and clearly someone used to giving more than he received. As the car started moving, a silence settled between them, broken only by the rhythm of the rain on the windshield. Damaris tried not to look nervous, but Paul noticed. "Long day already?" he asked. She laughed softly. "It's not even 8 a.m., and I'm already in trouble. My boyfriend hates when I'm late." Paul smiled. "Then we better make sure you're not." Something about his voice, calm, genuine, made her forget for a second who she was rushing to see. When they arrived at the restaurant, Damaris reached into her purse and froze. Her wallet was gone. "Oh no," she whispered. "I must have left it at home." Paul waved his hand dismissively. "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll repay you," she promised quickly. "I know you will," he said, still smiling. "Maybe with your name?" She hesitated, then smiled back. Damaris Peralta." "Beautiful name," he said. "I'm Paul Bastidas." He didn't write her number down, but when she recited it, he nodded. "I'll remember." And somehow, she believed he would. When she entered the restaurant, her boyfriend, Jose Daniel, was already there. No smile, no warmth, just that cold stare she had grown used to. "You're late," he said flatly. "My car broke down," she began, "but I got here as fast as I could." "Always excuses," he interrupted. "Do you think it's nothing to make me wait?" He didn't shout, but his tone hurt more than yelling ever could. Damaris sat down quietly, placing the bouquet she'd bought on the table. Red roses, his favorite. He glanced at them and sighed. "I'm tired of flowers." Her smile faltered. "I thought you liked them." "I thought you could buy me something better," he replied coldly. "A bracelet? Something real?" She swallowed hard. "It is real. It's silver." He leaned back, unimpressed. "Then that's even worse." The waiter arrived, breaking the silence. Damaris ordered a salad, Jose ordered wine. When the waiter left, he stared at her again. You always order simple things. You really have no taste for luxury, do you? That was the moment something inside her began to change. She looked at him, at the man she'd loved, or thought she did, and saw nothing but a stranger in expensive clothes. Her voice trembled, but she spoke clearly. You know what? I'm tired. Tired of the way you talk to me. Tired of trying to be enough for someone who'll never see my worth. Jose looked up, startled. What are you saying? I'm saying it's over, she said, standing up. Your love isn't love. It's humiliation. And with that, she walked away, not out of anger, but out of exhaustion. Outside, the rain had returned. Her makeup was smudged, her hair damp, but for the first time in a long time, she felt free. Still, the emptiness was heavy. She sat down on a park bench near the corner, clutching the same bouquet of flowers that had been rejected minutes ago. They looked beautiful, unwanted, but beautiful. That's when she heard a familiar voice. Roses never look sad, only the people holding them. She looked up. It was Paul, the man from the taxi. He was holding an umbrella, smiling softly, as if he'd been waiting for her all along. She laughed through her tears. You again? He nodded. Me again. Maybe the world's trying to make sure you don't give up on it. And as the rain fell between them, something gentle began to grow. Not romance yet, but something deeper. The fragile beginning of trust. The rain kept falling, thin, steady, almost whispering. For most people, it was just another gray afternoon, another reason to hurry home. But for Damaris, it felt like the world was trying to wash something away. The weight of humiliation, the ache of being unseen. Across the street, she noticed a man with an umbrella, crossing slowly toward her. It was Paul Bastidas, the same stranger who had given her a ride that morning. He smiled, not a flirtatious smile, not one that asked for anything, just a gentle human smile, the kind you give someone when you sense they need it. You again? She asked softly, a nervous laugh in her voice. Me again, he said, handing her the umbrella. The universe must think we have unfinished business. Damaris looked up at him, almost embarrassed. Her mascara had run from the rain, and her hair clung to her cheeks, but Paul didn't seem to notice, or maybe he noticed everything and simply didn't care. Rough day? He asked. You could say that, she murmured. My boyfriend. She stopped herself, then corrected. My ex-boyfriend, I guess, doesn't think I'm enough. Paul tilted his head. Then he's blind. She blinked in surprise, unsure how to respond. Do you want to walk? He asked. There's an ice cream shop around the corner. In this rain? Especially in this rain. They walked under his umbrella, laughing at how ridiculous they must look. Two strangers eating ice cream in the middle of a storm. When she tasted the first spoonful, she smiled for real this time. You know, she said, I needed this. Me too, Paul replied. Sometimes talking to someone who doesn't expect anything from you, it's the only way to breathe again. He didn't ask about her past. He didn't pry. He just listened. To the pauses between her words, to the sighs she didn't mean to let slip. Finally, he said, You should fall in love with someone else. She looked at him, startled. That's easy to say. Then say it anyway, he replied, and one day you'll mean it. She laughed through her tears. You're strange. Maybe, he said, but sometimes strange people see things others don't. Later that night, when she returned home, her landlord was waiting at the door. Damaris, it's been 3 months, he said coldly. Either you pay today or you leave. Please, just 1 more week, she pleaded. I'll find a way. But he only shrugged. You've been saying that for months. She rushed inside, searching through drawers, hoping for a miracle. All she found was a small silver chain, one Jose Daniel had once given her when they were happy. She clutched it tightly and went back out. "Here," she said, handing it to the landlord. "It's pure silver, worth at least $50. Please, give me 1 more week." The man sighed. "Fine, 1 week." But when she turned around, she saw Jose Daniel standing at the corner, watching her. "You're still here?" he asked bitterly. "Trying to survive on pity now?" Her voice trembled. "I'm trying to live." 2 years together, Damaris, and you throw it all away? 2 years of waiting for you to change, she said quietly. 2 years of believing in dreams you never chased. He scoffed. "So that's it? You're leaving for money." She shook her head. "No, I'm leaving because I want to know who I am, without you." That night, the rain returned heavier than before. Damaris stepped out of the apartment with her suitcase, her whole life packed into one bag. She didn't know where she was going, but when she reached the main road, a familiar voice called out, "Need a ride?" It was Paul again, leaning out from his car, rain streaking across the windshield. Her first instinct was to refuse. Pride, fear, habit, but exhaustion won. She got in. "Rough night?" he asked gently. "I think I just ended a chapter," she said. He nodded. "Then let's start a new one." He drove without asking questions, just humming softly to the rhythm of the rain. Finally, he stopped in front of a quiet house, simple but warm-looking, with yellow light glowing through the curtains. "You can stay here," he said. "It's one of my houses. You'll be safe." She hesitated. "I can't accept that." "You can," he said firmly, "because you need it, and because helping you helps me too." She looked at him, trying to read his face. "Why are you doing this?" He smiled. "Because once, someone helped me when I didn't deserve it, and I promised I'd do the same." Inside, he gave her clean clothes, food, and a soft towel. "Shower's down the hall," he said. "I'll be in the living room if you need anything." She nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you, Paul." He smiled. "You don't owe me thanks. Just promise you won't stop believing that good people still exist." When she came out, wrapped in a borrowed shirt and the scent of fresh soap, she saw him asleep on the couch. The TV still on. For a moment, she just watched. The stranger who kept appearing exactly when she needed someone most. Maybe he wasn't a coincidence. Maybe he was what life sends you, when you finally let go of what hurts. Outside, the rain kept falling, but this time it sounded different. Softer, kinder. Morning light crept through the curtains. Soft, golden, quiet. For the first time in weeks, Damaris woke up without fear. She could hear Paul downstairs, humming softly as he brewed coffee. The smell filled the air, warm and comforting, the kind of scent that reminded you life could start over. When she came down, he smiled. "Sleep well?" She nodded. "Better than I have in a long time." "Good," he said gently. "You deserve peace, Damaris." They sat across from each other, silence speaking louder than words. For a brief moment, she thought maybe, just maybe, kindness didn't always come with conditions. But life, as always, was about to test that belief. Across town, Jose Daniel was fighting his own storm. His landlord, Mr. Felipe, met him at the door, arms crossed. 4 months, he said coldly. 4 months you haven't paid rent. "Please," Jose pleaded, "just 1 more week. No more weeks. You owe me money and you're out." As the man turned to leave, Jose noticed a small black briefcase sitting on the counter. "That's not mine," he said. Felipe frowned. "Belongs to that woman who used to live here, Damaris. Left it behind." Jose hesitated. His chest tightened. He opened it just enough to see the edge of what looked like cash, neatly folded bills stacked in rows. His breath caught. For a second, greed whispered, "You could keep it. You need it more than anyone." But then another voice, quieter but stronger, echoed in his mind. His father's words. "What's not yours will never bless you." He closed the briefcase. "I can't keep this," he said. Felipe looked at him like he was insane. "You could buy your life back with that money." "It's not my life to buy," Jose replied. "It's hers." He spent the rest of the morning searching for Damaris, asking neighbors, walking in circles under the sun. Finally, someone recognized her name. "She's staying with a man named Paul," a woman said. "Big house near Miraflores." When Jose arrived, he hesitated at the gate, ashamed, exhausted, carrying the briefcase that felt heavier than gold. Paul opened the door. His expression was calm but wary. "Can I help you?" Jose swallowed. "I'm looking for Damaris." Before Paul could answer, she appeared in the hallway wearing a simple white blouse, her hair tied back. For a moment, everything froze. "Jose?" she whispered. He looked at her, not with anger, but something close to regret. "I came to return this," he said quietly, placing the briefcase on the table. "It's yours." She frowned, confused. "Mine? You left it in the apartment. I didn't look inside." Paul stepped forward. "Wait, you didn't open it?" Jose shook his head. "I saw money, yes, but it's not mine." Paul exchanged a look with Damaris, surprise, disbelief, and something like respect. "Why would you give it back?" Paul asked finally. Jose smiled faintly. "Because losing money hurts less than losing myself." Paul was silent for a long moment, then opened the briefcase. Inside, bundles of $100 bills gleamed under the light. Damaris gasped. "Where did all this come from?" Paul closed it slowly. "It doesn't matter now. What matters is who it found." He turned to Jose. "You said you didn't want to lose yourself," Paul said softly. "Then let me tell you something. The world rarely rewards honesty right away, but it never forgets it." He reached into the briefcase, pulled out an envelope, and handed it to Jose. "This is for you." Jose's eyes widened. "No, I can't." "You can," Paul interrupted gently, "because sometimes integrity deserves more than applause. It deserves a chance." Jose opened the envelope. Inside was a check, enough to pay off his debts and start again. His voice broke. "Why would you do this for me?" Paul smiled. "Because you did the same thing. You chose what's right when no one was watching." That evening, after Jose left, Damaris sat quietly in the living room, still stunned. She looked at Paul. "Who are you, really?" she asked. He chuckled softly. "Just someone who's seen what greed does to people and what honesty can save." She smiled faintly. "You sound like you've lost before." He nodded. "Maybe that's why I can see when someone's about to find themselves." The room grew quiet again, the kind of silence that feels full instead of empty. She looked at the briefcase, still open, the money untouched. "Do you ever think," she said softly, "that life gives us tests disguised as people?" Paul smiled. "All the time. Some people show up to hurt us, others to heal us, and a few to remind us what we stand for." Later that night, Damaris couldn't sleep. She walked outside, barefoot on the cold tiles, and watched the city lights in the distance. She realized that Paul hadn't just offered her a place to stay. He had offered her something far rarer, the proof that good still existed. And as she stood there, a thought crossed her mind. Maybe the real treasure isn't in what people give you, but in what you give back. Inside, Paul sat by the window, watching her quietly. For the first time, he wasn't thinking about what he had lost, but about what he had found. In the end, Damaris didn't find her happiness in luxury or wealth or revenge. She found it in something far more powerful, a stranger's kindness, and her own courage to start again. Jose Daniel learned that sometimes the greatest proof of strength isn't in holding on, it's in letting go with dignity. And Paul, he reminded us all that even when the world forgets how to care, there are still people who choose to do the right thing, quietly, selflessly, completely. Because honesty always finds its way home. And love, the real kind, doesn't come wrapped in perfection or promises. It comes disguised as help in the rain, as forgiveness when it's hardest, as second chances when you least expect them. So if you've ever felt like the world rewarded the wrong people, remember this: kindness isn't about being repaid. It's about becoming the reason someone still believes in good. Some treasures can't be bought, stolen, or hidden in briefcases. They live inside the hearts of those who choose compassion over convenience and integrity over gain. And maybe, just maybe, your next small act of kindness could be the moment that saves someone's life, or even changes your own. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment. Tell us, what would you have done in Damaris's place? Would you have trusted a stranger or walked away and missed your miracle? And if you believe that honesty, love, and second chances still matter in this world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will remind you how powerful a single good choice can be.